Other than marking a random point in space across which the Earth travels roughly every 365 days, there's nothing especially significant about the 1st of January. Culturally, though, Jan 1st, very significant. So we have a new year, and in this new year, new films, new horror films coming out, starting with a zombie film. Among all the horror films, zombie films are my favorite. I love zombie films, and the last zombie film I watched was 28 Years Later. A film that didn't really feel like a zombie film, and I talked about it on this channel. We Bury the Dead is perhaps a palate cleanser for me, a return to the zombie genre of sorts. The film has Daisy Ridley, who I don't remember seeing after Star Wars, and it has Brenton Thoughts, who I haven't seen after Titans. Both fun actors I want to watch in films. We Bury the Dead is about an epidemic of some sort that starts killing people and turning them into zombies, and Daisy Ridley must go looking for her husband who's disappeared. Along the way, she runs into zombies and complications ensue. We Bury the Dead seems like a fun film, but I have reservations. It looks like it's too serious a film. Not that zombie films can't be serious, but it looks like it borders too much on the drama side of things, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. Chimpanzees apparently are 50% stronger than humans. This is the basis of Primate, a film in which a pet chimpanzee goes maniacal and starts killing a bunch of girls at a house somewhere. I don't really like horror films in which the bad guy is an animal. I didn't like Jaws, I didn't like Anaconda, Lake Placid, so animal horror films, not my cup of tea. Primate, though, seems like an interesting horror film. It's got the mood and the atmosphere you'll find in traditional horror films. The chimpanzee looks supernatural in some of the scenes, and the fear and helplessness some of the girls display is the fear and horror you see in victims in traditional horror films. I know all of this is probably inside my head, but the film looks great, and I think I'm going to enjoy watching it. 28 Years Later was a confusing film for me, a confusing film that I eventually grew to dislike over time, which is why The Bone Temple wasn't a film I was expecting to like at all. I was, in fact, certain I was going to dislike the film because Alex Garland and Danny Boyle's vision for 28 Years Later didn't match my expectation from a zombie film. But curiosity led me to the trailer for Bone Temple, and now I'm hopeful again. I'm excited even for the next installment of this film. I know I'll be disappointed yet again, but I can't help myself. Night Patrol is a film starring Justin Long, and that alone should be reason enough for me to go watch the film. But the film is about vampires hunting black people, and Justin Long gets stuck in the middle of all this. He's got to figure out how to stop the vampires from hunting humans, and the film looks spectacular. The film has Justin Long, the film has vampires, the film has one man trying to fight a large organization. Let's go. Return to Silent Hill was a kick-ass game. It's a game I never played or saw screen grabs of online, but it's a great game. That's what people tell me, the people in my head. Anyway, I watched the first Silent Hill film and it wasn't entirely horrible. It was nice even. This new film, Return to Silent Hill, looks nice. It tells the tale of James who goes to Silent Hill looking for the love of his life. And after arriving at Silent Hill, he runs into all sorts of horrors that we know he'll run into. Considering the fact that I like the first film and that the trailer for this film looks pretty impressive, it seems that I'm going to like the upcoming film. Send Help is a film in which an a-hole boss and his underling get trapped on a deserted island after a plane crash, and the underling finally gets her comeuppance when she's able to handle the deserted island much better than her boss, and even starts psychologically torturing her boss. When you think about it, an underling torturing her boss seems like the kind of film that I'd enjoy. But this film doesn't really look like a horror film, so maybe I won't watch the film, is what I was thinking until the director's name comes up in the trailer. And now I've decided I'm going to watch the film and I'm going to love it. The film is directed by Sam Raimi. So, yeah. The Strangers Chapter 3 is the 5th installment of the Strangers film series, and I have not watched a single one of these films, which is a shame really. There's talk online that the last film is not good at all, but maybe I misheard. And maybe the older films are good. I don't know. I won't know until I actually go watch the films, all 5 of them, which is what I'm going to do. But 5 films, so it might take a while. Whistle stars Nick Frost, Michelle Fairley, Daphne Keane. So the cast seems interesting even though the premise seems a bit tried and tested. The premise of the film is this. An Aztec death whistle comes into the possession of high schoolers, and with this comes death itself. Kids start dying, and the survivors start looking for ways to prevent death from coming for them. Like I said, tried and tested. I probably would have watched the film even if big names weren't attached to it, but big names are attached to it, so maybe the film turns out to be good. Cold Storage is a film I'm really looking forward to, mostly because of Joe Keery. I like Joe Keery, I just like him. So I'll watch whatever film he's in and probably like it. But Cold Storage seems like a film that's interesting regardless of Joe Keery's presence. Two minimum wage workers, maybe, accidentally release a fungus of some kind that infects people and turns them into zombies. Maybe. But eventually kills them after they've spread the infection. And now these minimum wage workers must work with a government operative to contain and eradicate this infection. A job they are clearly not equipped to do. The film has a very comedic tone and it maybe is a zombie story, but it's a horror film and it's funny, and that's pretty much all I need to know to like the film. And like serial killers are too real a threat to stick into films and watch for entertainment. Films like Scream and Halloween and Friday the 13th, they're surreal. They're detached from reality. It's easier to watch them as pieces of fiction. Psycho Killer seems like a film that isn't detached from reality. It's a film about a highway patrol officer who witnesses the death of her husband and then decides to track down the killer. Only the killer turns out to be a serial killer with a sinister agenda. I don't know what this sinister agenda is, but seeing the killer and the stuff he does is enough to give me nightmares. The film seems like a real world film with real world threats and real world consequences. I don't like that. I'm going to watch the film because I'm weird, but I'm not going to like it. I love the Scream franchise. I watched every film with a deep love for this franchise, and about a day later, forgotten all that's happened in the film, which is quite possibly what will happen with this film as well. It doesn't mean I dislike the franchise. I already said I love the franchise. I just forget sequel films easier than standalone films. This seventh part, from what I can tell, reunites Nev Campbell and Courtney Cox against yet another masked killer, and a bunch of people are going to get killed while our heroes, in all likelihood, will escape. I don't know, there isn't anything inventive the series is going to do with its sequel, but I'm not really complaining. Let the sequels roll in. I've stopped liking Kristen Bale. I don't hate him, I just don't like him. Mostly because he's been a dick to some people before, and my dislike of him is no doubt going to make him lose a shit ton of sleep. Anyway, I don't think I like this new Frankenstein film, The Bride. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't like Kristen Bale, but yeah, I think my dislike of the actor might have something to do with my dislike of the film. But I don't like the film because it seems nothing like a horror film. I could be wrong, of course, and I might end up loving the film. Only time will tell. Kristen Bell's Frankenstein's monster gets himself a bride and introduces her to the world, and quite possibly all the horrors the world has to offer. And that's about all I could find on this film. I'll watch the film when it comes out and report back on how I like the film. I'm sure exactly none of you are holding your breath for that. And that's about all the horror films I think we'll be getting in the first quarter of this year. Let me know what films you're excited about, what films you hate from this list, and what films I've probably missed. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.